CCO Podcast, episode 338. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to talk about our experiences at Magic 30. Now hit our theme song! And hey, Ryan, we're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Whole ton is going down. The snow will begin falling soon as a tragic storm approaches our little hamlet of Saskatoon. We're going to talk about some of our experiences in Vegas, the good, the bad, the ugly, the things that could be improved upon, and the things that I wish could be included in every event like the one that we went to, which I feel are going to be tricky, but it could happen. Also, I'm much taller than you on the video if you're watching on YouTube, which you fucking should be.
Oh, man. I'm dying already.
But before we can get to any of that, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs.
Very much so. And MtG Bro coming out. Yeah. If you want to be an MtG CCO Bro, you can head to FusionGamingOnline.com. Use CCO Spring promo code when you check out. Get 5% off anything you're going to buy there.
The shit you're going to buy anyway?
You're going to buy it anyways. You might as well save some money. And if you've never used it in the past, you can use CCO Perks promo code, and that'll get you 10% store credit kickback into your account if you spend more than $100 Canadian. If you're from the land of the free, that's like $69. Nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you spend like $69, $70 and you get like $10 back and it's free. Just free money that you could just use again.
On stuff you're gonna buy anyway.
And if you're new to the nation, you can use both promo codes, touch tips with the promo code, save money, get money back, save money again.
Yeah.
All good things.
It's a pretty good system that we have set up in order to encourage you to buy Magic cards at a discount.
Yeah, very much so.
I feel like it's weird that we have to encourage people to do that.
Yeah.
Pay less for an expensive thing.
Yes. Now, speaking of touching tips and paying less, we've got not business daddy, but business
homie.
Tip toucher?
No, business homie.
Business homie. Geekwood.ca, another great place to get really good stuff. Brando uses his Geekwood dice.
Yeah, I got dice all the time.
And dice tray like all the time. Mm-hmm. You can use CCO Podcast promo code there. Get 10% off.
Shit.
Yeah.
What's the thing? What's the promo code?
Oh, CCO Podcast.
There you go.
Keep it simple.
All one word.
CCO Podcast, all one word, all capitals. Joe will have it on the screen because Joe is a fantastic stand-up individual.
Is what we tell him on the show. Behind his back, we say the same thing, but we pretend that we don't because it's funny.
Yeah. Okay, so all great ways to support the show. If you want another couple ways, you can go to patreon.com/CCO Podcast. We're going to talk about the patrons in a minute because they're who we offer the CCO Experience to. Right. Or commandercookout.com, there's a donate button, and that goes a long way to help pay for all the shit that the show needs.
And if you're not in a position to do that, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that YouTube and podcast shit, it all helps. It goes a long way, and we appreciate it. Sort of.
Very free to click a like or to share or subscribe or tag a friend on social media. That's how you win our current giveaway from Geekwood. We got dice bag and chainmail stuff and stickers. We got a giveaway.
Coin purse and a Yeah.
So check out the Commander Cookout socials. They'll be on the screen as well. CCO Podcast for me, CCO Brando for Twitter, Facebook.com/CCO Podcast. All the places you can go try and win some stuff. And if you play,
you will win.
Yeah, just like the Booster Pack game.
Oh, yeah, the Booster Pack game.
I've got last week's winner.
Who is it? What was the card first?
The card wasn't a card. It was if you were to be a Magic card yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Who would you be?
Yeah.
That was it. And we've got... I like... This is what came up, and I was like, hey, pee-pee. Paul Primal Calamity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
like that.
Paul Primal Calamity. That's Paul Hemminghaus. The Hoff.
Oh, that's
Hemminghoff.
Hemminghoff.
But it's Hemminghaus. So you know who you are. How do you win? You email commandercookout@gmail.com. You let us know if you want a booster pack, a CCO sticker pack, or a CCO token pack. We'll send them in the mail.
That's right. Remember to send your address and honor system because you're going to balls it up for everybody if you don't do the honor system thing. Like if you're somebody that isn't the Hoff and you're like, 1, we'll catch you. 2, Ryan will cough on you.
Oh,
3,
yeah.
you'll balls it up for everybody. So
I will
don't.
cough right onto your eyeballs.
Just like,
Yeah, sorry, Joe. There's lots of coughing in this one. I'm still recovering from the fog machine in Vegas, and
there was a lot of fog machines.
Yeah.
So you could see the lasers. in
so
the ceiling.
so I'm sleeping one time. Not in Vegas because I didn't sleep while I was there. Hence why I'm still fighting a cold. Sleep very important in recovery, folks. So I'm sleeping one time, and I got woke up by coughing. Rebecca's sleeping beside me, coughing.
She's coughing in her sleep?
Well, she was awake, but I was asleep.
Oh, okay.
But she woke me up from coughing, and when I woke up, I realized that I'm getting coughed right onto my face. Like, she's this far away from me. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, you'd notice. And I can feel like the wind from her cough striking my face. And when I open, I can feel, you know when you go outside and the wind hits your eyeball?
Like a bright pizza pie, yeah.
That, except coughing.
Gross.
And she was like, she just got a little bit sick. She must have had like that low exposure.
Like to a cold?
To a cold, yeah. And her body's just like, I'm trying to fight it off. No, I got coughed right into my nose and my eyeballs. So just be aware if you're sleeping with your significant other that if you're going to cough, turn the other way.
They don't cough up their nose. You shouldn't cough up anybody's nose. Unless that's their thing. There's no kink shaming in the nation. But like,
yes.
You know.
You know what? I bet you that's a fetish to get coughed onto.
Oh, probably is. You know, like, I want your germs.
I want your cough spittle.
I saw that in a movie one time.
Germaphobes are just seething.
Yeah, I saw that in a movie once where because celebrity had gotten so intense in this dystopian future where like instead of selling autographs and stuff
or foot pictures
from celebrities, they wanted like your viruses. So whoever
could I sell those?
So like if Pat Sajak got sick, he'd like sneeze his boogs into a jar and then they'd sell his boogs. Yeah, that's the celebrity I went with.
Okay, you realized that's what you did. Okay,
yeah,
I'm
100%.
Just making sure.
That's the Wheel of Fortune guy for anybody who's never stayed home sick from school.
In the 90s.
He's still on. Same time.
Is
same
it
channel.
really him and her though?
Yeah.
Or are they like?
They could be
are they
robots.
Phyrexians? They're just like Mishra, just skin stretched over a Pat Sajak shaped or endoskeleton.
They might be.
The Terminator. Elish Sajak. Yeah.
Have we got the Elish Norn from our set yet?
No, I think she's coming in the next one.
What a bunch of shit.
What a balls.
We got Gix instead.
We got Gix. Yeah, he's going to Gix all over us.
A piece of crap.
He's finally coming. I want to make a Gix deck where I draw my whole deck and then, or make, what is it? I'm going to draw my whole deck, discard my whole deck, and then exile my opponent's whole library to play those cards for free? Nuh-uh. I'm just going to say, go. And you're going to get milled, sucker. I'm going to have 2 mill decks, two time, as you say.
And you'll have, how many decks will that be where you draw your whole deck and then win?
Oh, well.
That's 4 or 5?
My mill deck doesn't do that, though. My mill deck doesn't do that. If I cast a Stroke of Genius, it's to make you draw. So that's what's going on in the world of life in Brando and Ryan and world. Mm-hmm. We got a storm coming, so we got to hurry up and get into the main topic today. We got Vegas. And if we have time, we're going to do a little bit of MtG broing. Just initial thoughts and mechanics and stuff.
Okay.
But if we don't, I mean, you're yawning already, so.
Yeah, we have time. This guy.
I know I'm dying. I took some cough syrup before I came, like Kevin Spencer. Remember that show? His cartoon, he just drank cough syrup all the time.
Oh, yeah, he's a stabby, and he's stabby
Yeah.
He'll be on the screen, too, if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, I thought it was a Canadian thing, but I mentioned it in Las Vegas, and people knew who it was. But I think it was like the people from Wisconsin knew what it was.
Well, that doesn't mean it's not Canadian. There's some Canadian stuff that makes it down to the States.
Like beer.
Yeah, beer.
Maple syrup. Maple cookies like we had in Las Vegas. I brought some.
That's terrible.
I couldn't believe that not everybody loves maple cookies.
The first person that you mentioned maple cookies to didn't like them. The first person.
Wow, that's like striking out on your first at-bat of the year. I'm not going to just quit. I'm just not going to leave the season alone now. There's 161 more games left.
But you shouldn't have been surprised that other people didn't like them because the first person you mentioned them to was like, I don't like those very much.
I will continue with the baseball analogies. I could strike out on my first at-bat and still win the MVP because I hit 50 home runs.
Yeah, but you can't be whatchamacallit. You can't be surprised at the end of the season you didn't bat 1,000
Oh.
because you struck out at your first at bat.
But they're maple cookies, man.
But they're not good. They're not good. They're not.
Jury's out, I guess.
No, they're right here.
Next time.
Sitting on the right-hand side of your screen.
Next time we go to the land of the free, I'm going to bring some more maple cookies. We ate the whole box. The people who do like them. And the people who didn't like them were like,
whatever. We have tacos.
They're fine. And then Brando was like, I hate them. I'm Brando.
Yeah.
It's pretty much how it went.
That's exactly how I sounded.
So that's
good impression.
That's kind of the first Vegas memory. Let's talk about the whole thing, though. So we gets on the plane. We fly to Las Vegas. Aaron and Amy pick us up, me, you, and Mac.
Yep.
Mac attack. We go to the convention.
Convention hall.
That's French for convention.
That's true.
And
checks out.
Initial thoughts, first impression, going in. Okay, now I'll set the stage for you. I'll set the stage for CCO Nation.
Yeah,
if
I was
they're not
there. You
aware.
need to set the stage for me.
Okay, so we are coming from Canada, and remember the exchange rate's about like 30% higher for us.
Mm-hmm.
Our money's worth, I guess, 30% less.
That's right.
So we spent $160 on our thing, which is 200 and some Canadian, and it was like the entry level pass just to walk in the door like a plebeian.
Right.
Then we could have spent $350, which is almost $500, to get access to Commander area and more promos and booster packs.
If they were
Sure.
available. That's important.
Sure.
They sold out. That's important to note.
Oh, you mean the packages?
The big Commander package did sell out.
Yes. All the packages sold out.
Yeah.
That's why Keel couldn't get there until somebody had to cancel. Or we could have spent $700 for the Black Lotus Big Swing and Dink VIP package, which is almost $1,000. Didn't do that.
No.
So that's the preface. Now, in addition to that, communication through Twitter or official WotC sources was like, it's going to be first come, first serve in free play spaces. It's not the Las Vegas Convention Center, and they were inferring that it was a smaller venue.
And they were correct.
Now, the venue by no means was small.
No.
If you got in there and looked like down the pillars, you couldn't see the end. Like the curvature of the earth took over before you could see the end. The building was massive. But that was our mindset going in.
Yeah.
Right? And all of those things, I got to pay money, then I got to pay more money, and I don't even know if I'm going to play anywhere that isn't the floor.
Yeah. But if you tried to play on the floor, they did ask you to move.
Yeah.
Even in the free play area.
Now, that's the preface.
Yeah.
Some way through the weekend, all of that laxed, and I cannot confirm nor deny that I did go into the Commander area and did not pay for it.
Huh.
So did I play any games in there? No. By the end of the episode, I'm going to say whether or not, and maybe you'll agree, whether or not we would ever pay that extra price for the premium experience.
And let me spoil it. No.
And we have to weigh that against the secret little prizes and stuff that they gave out, because the other thing that they kept saying, in addition to first come, first serve, fuck you if you're not here in time, was we promise it'll be worth it. It's not going to be like any other Magic event you've been to in the past. Right?
And that's true.
And that is true.
Part of it was true. It's unlike any event you've been to in the past. Magic event you've been to. That was true.
Yes.
The worth it part, I'm on the fence.
I'm on the fence too. But let's talk about it and break it down, because we're never shy to be critical to WotC, but we're also never shy to try and just be edgy and avoid giving praise where it's due, because I think some serious praise is due.
There was some great things that happened at this event. There was a lot of really cool stuff that happened. But again, it's balanced really hard on, I think, a lot of optics.
Yeah.
There's lots of optics. There was a really heavy pall of like people feeling excluded from the event. On the way, like, oh, you're feeling... When you were physically present at the event, even, you could see very clear lines of where you people go here, and you people go here, and you people go here, because you all paid a different level of money.
I think, while that was true, I do think that at some point in the weekend, that didn't become eliminated. It wasn't gone.
No.
But it did get better when, I'm not sure if it was event staff or like like magic workers and judges that were part of the organization of the goings on of the people, or if it was like
the people
just saying, hey, this is BS, I'm just gonna fucking do this.
Yeah, the people monitoring social media, panicking, saying, holy fuck, we're getting shit on, we need to change something, because that is also a thing.
That is also what happened. Yeah, which is fantastic, because that is sort of the people taking over.
Yeah.
Well, which I think if we do that, and we've seen it in the past where WotC gets crapped on and piled on social media, and they change what they say. They change something. It happened with the cosplay.
Yeah.
They got dumped on because they were going to give $200 away to the winner in a
$200 gift card.
And it ended up that they gave away like over $10,000. No, maybe not over, but like $10,000 in prizes. $3,000, $2,000,
$7,500 or something. It was lots. Lots of money.
Plus all those gift
cards.
Plus
the gift cards. But the gift cards, whatever, they probably got them for free. The company probably gave them the gift cards. They say our name, right?
So that was our impression going in.
That's our
long-winded form. Now, you walk in, first impression when you get there and see and start to do on Friday.
Like, what was the first thing? I don't know if it was my first impression. I was like, holy fuck, I'm at a comic convention.
Is that a bad thing? Is that bad?
Yes.
Do you think that that's bad?
Yeah.
Would you have rather not gone?
Well,
if the answer is no, then it can't be that bad.
Well, if those are my options.
Yes, those are the options.
The options are I had a fantastic time. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
No.
Or, oh God, I wish I stayed home.
No.
The options, if those are my options, then obviously I'm happy I went and it was the best. It was a really it was a fantastically set up event.
Hey, there's some praise.
Organized very well.
Yeah.
It had cool lighting. It had these really cool like individual mana-themed seating areas that had cosplayers in them.
I like those, yeah.
One for each color of magic. The vendors were clean. It wasn't too like packed in where you didn't have any space to move.
I like that. You know what I've hated at conventions in the past? You know how like they've got those vendors are set up like this, and there's a vendor in each quadrant of like their box that they're in.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't do that, and they do it in rows, and one vendor like touches the side of the other vendor. They have them adjacent to each other. Yeah. And you can't really tell where one ends and the other begins. And you have like the human centipede of vendors.
And the intersections get really clogged up because people are walking around in costumes, people are taking pictures, things get backed up. You're waiting in line to wait in line. You're waiting in line to look at things. That wasn't an issue here.
That's not this place,
That's fantastic. If you wanted to see a thing, you'd wait for maybe one person, they'd move out of the way, and then you were free to look in the cases, look at the stuff. There was really cool merch there. There was like old WotC swag from old Pro Tours.
Those jean shirts.
And flip-flops and board shorts and stuff.
Yeah, Pro Tour Honolulu flip-flops, man. Cool.
There was a really cool like custom playmats. There was lots and lots of high-end cards. There were secret layers. There was all binders with shit foils in them, damaged stuff, all sorts of things you could spend money on. There was a $75 soda you could buy.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a confession to make. You know those themed rooms?
Yep.
Themed rooms. And I got pictures. You're going to watch the CCO Experience Las Vegas video. You're going to see the themed rooms, one for each mana color.
Yep.
It was the end of the day on Saturday. So we'd been there like for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize until then that those rooms were one for each color.
They even had the mana symbols on the side, man. Like
I know. I thought those mana symbols were just there for decoration. I didn't realize that they were on the sides of the room that they corresponded to. Because remember we saw the red one and I was like, we should take a funny picture or whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't. And then me and Mac and T-Coats were going around not defacing WotC property and putting our money where our mouth is with the CCO stickers, if you will.
Yep.
And I was like, holy shit, there's one for each color. Cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Let me hit you with the... Okay, so we've talked about how it was well set up, it was well run, it was well put together, all that kind of stuff. But here's the brass tacks of this. I paid $200 to walk into that event center.
Yep.
And the thing that I got for my $200 was access to the event center and nothing else.
Well, you got like a collector pack and a booster pack. I'm being facetious.
Yeah, that's whatever. Like I don't want those. I didn't want them.
Would you have paid $130, $120 and not got those?
Still too much.
Yes, but...
Well, yeah, I've paid that much to go to conventions before. But here's the thing with conventions is you get tired of them because and this one was small by comparison. Like there are,
Yes.
like it wasn't.
It was one hall, but it was only half a hall because the other half of the hall was tables.
It was
playing.
monstrous because there was playing, commander area, and all these other things. There was a huge section so you could go to the official merch booth and right.
And there was like 1,000-seat like stage where you could watch panels and game nights live and Mark Rosewater and stuff.
Set up really well. But
and they did Brothers War previews and stuff there.
And you could walk the entire convention floor in an hour.
Yeah.
You could see every single thing in an hour, unless you were granularly looking through all the binders and looking at every single card. I took my shopping list and I did the entire event in an hour.
So
that experience cost me $200 Canadian, which is, I think it's way over the top. I'm going to be honest. I think that's way over the top for what I got. If it was 2 halls full of stuff and there was more artists and more vendors and like more things to do instead of like the 5 panels that they had, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And if there was more than just, and maybe we missed this, but if there was more than just randomly run into a cosplayer or just cosplay contest, but they're all on stage, if there was an official cosplay area where they had hired people that you can go and take pictures with in those themed rooms, mind you.
Yep.
At not all hours, but as much hours of the day as they can.
That's one of those things where we'll say Zebex is some white character is in the white mana room right now if you'd like a picture. And she's
Shout out
there.
to Zebex. Zedbex if she comes to Canada.
And they'd have like an area at the front, like the black one had Liliana's chair, right? So like a cosplayer sitting in the chair and you could wait in line and take a picture with her. That'd be cool, right? That'd be.
And they did do that. That did happen, but it wasn't an all-day thing. There wasn't like a cosplay time. There was no schedule for that.
Yeah, they didn't have their own little booth in the artist area, which they could have.
Minor qualm, and I don't want the whole episode to be dumping on it how expensive it was because A, it's a convention, B, it's Las Vegas, C, they pack the loot bags with just enough stuff to make people think they can justify the price, like a collector pack that costs $30 is worth $30 to WotC. They're like, it's worth $5. Add another $50 to the fucking loot bag price and call it a day, and everybody's gonna pay for it and it will sell out. I wanna talk about what they did right and what they did wrong. We've talked a little bit about what they did wrong in that maybe there wasn't enough for the money.
No.
Okay. Do you think there was enough non-magic entertainment for people like us? And by that, what I mean is outside the hall, there was food trucks.
Right.
There could have been more food trucks.
Yeah.
The bar was only open till 6 p.m.
Right.
Could have been, it's Vegas. It's Vegas. It should have been open till 2.
Well, the event was only open till 7. So the bar being open till 2 would be weird.
Why is the event...
You can't get in the building, but the bar's still open.
What's wrong with that? The bar was in a different building.
Well, no, because you can't get into the building. Like the building's closed, but the bar upstairs is still open?
Well, what's wrong with that? That's what an after party is. Let's keep the bar open and have entertainment, but we're going to close down the building.
They did that, but it cost you an extra $100.
They did that, but it cost $100. Now, what if there was an unofficial after party that you could just be at?
We did that. It was at the CCO house.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
Yeah.
So those are just some of my minor criticisms. It's Vegas. Like, why wasn't it more, for lack of a better descriptor, why wasn't it more Vegas-y? And that means longer hours and more stuff to eat and to drink and more entertainment. I bet you that if WotC wanted to put on a magic-themed show, maybe not with cosplayers, but with performing artists, I'll use like the example Cirque du Soleil.
Sure.
You're in Vegas. They're available, like they are. Maybe you don't get the whole production, but you could get a magic-themed performance like Cirque du Soleil, themed to the Brothers War. Get performing artists. They have thousands of them in Vegas. Why weren't we given something like that? Instead, we were given like whatever we were given. I'm not going to complain about any of the panels or any of the events. I'm not going to complain about any of that.
The panels were great.
There you go.
Hearing game nights, it sounded like it was. We didn't watch it, but
I watched some of it. I watched the end of it.
It sounded like lots of fun. People were cheering, and it sounded like a great time. I watched the costume contest. I dragged Keel along with me. We had lots of fun. It was unreal.
There you go.
Yeah, like what there was there was great, but what was there wasn't worth the price of admission.
Was lacking.
Yes, and I think that going forward, because again, this is the first event of its type, I do think that this is a criticism that WotC will, I'm crossing my fingers here, will take to heart. And in the future events, I think Philadelphia is the next one in February.
Yep.
Maybe they'll work a little bit harder to either open more space for people to take part in the event.
And to give people just more room.
Or give more for the money that people are spending to be at these events. Because there was nothing at this event that wasn't at Vegas the last time we came, and we could walk in the doors to that for free.
I would disagree with that.
Because there was a costume contest. There was less smoke machines and lasers.
Well,
but it was.
I got an idea.
It was gift wrapping. It wasn't content that was different at all.
I don't know. I don't want to get into that though. I don't want to get into that. What if in your $160 entry, what if there was a whole booster box?
Well, yeah, because
then you're getting like a booster box, and the entry to the convention was like $25,
$50,
$50. Is that would that be better?
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you're getting like a physical item that's worth the money you're paying, that is yes.
Now, okay, let's shift gears then. You didn't want to pay $1,000 for the Black Lotus VIP pack, and I know how you feel about the $1,000 beta repack, 30th anniversary packs.
Mm-hmm.
What if you got 4 of those in your Black Lotus VIP pack?
Still not worth it.
But you didn't know you were getting them, because that's what happened to everybody. You'd open up your loot bag or whatever if you got the Lotus VIP pack, and you got those $250 beta repacks.
Right.
And the cool part is we got to open some. We didn't open them, but we got it on film, and I saw a different one be opened out in the CCO play area, which we'll talk about.
I was sitting with my back to that happening. I heard it opened.
No, this one you were already gone.
Are you sure? Where was I? I left with you guys.
No, this was on the end of the day on Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
No, you went and cleaned the house so we could have taco bar. You were not there.
Okay.
There was somebody else opened something awesome out in the area. I saw somebody on video too. MtG Nerd Girl opened up a tabernacle from a Legends pack.
Neat.
Oh, how sweet would that be? Anyways, cool stuff got opened. I'm not going to spoil any of it because the CCO Experience video is going to get into it. The moral of the story is the event felt lacking, despite how good the event actually was.
It was a fantastic event.
Because it was so expensive. And I think that if WotC tweaks the knobs and twiddles the knobs a little bit to get the price and the experience right, I think that they're going to find that less and less and less people are going to have this conflicted but maybe 51% negative opinion that you have.
Yeah.
And this conflicted but 51% positive feeling that I have.
Yeah.
And you're going to see more people in the 60, 70, 80% positive.
Before we move into specific stuff, there's one other thing that I wanted to talk about.
And there's one other thing that I want to say too.
Here's they opened the free play area with the bar in it. Great.
Yep.
Very small.
Very small.
Very small. Not inducive of you wanting to sit there and play Magic for a long period of time. And that's on purpose so that they could cycle people through.
Yes, because you're going to buy one beer because they're $8, and then you're going to bounce, and then somebody else is going to come and buy one. Somebody else.
Exactly. So the real great best part was Sunday when we took all those tables out in front of the building and we pushed them all together and we played Magic out in front of the building outside in the sun all day.
No wind, no bugs, just jamming games, and it's Vegas, so you can drink beer.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was by far my favorite part of the whole event. Yeah. And I didn't have to pay money for it.
Yeah.
I could have showed up for free and got the best part of the event, I could have just showed up and played.
I forgot the other thing that I was going to say, but I want to move to that because that is part of the CCO experience. Yes. I'm capturing that into the CCO experience, and it was completely show up randomly. There's a Magic convention going on. Oh, I got my Commander deck in my backpack. Play games.
Yeah.
And the irony of that is the funniest, because this is by far the most expensive Magic event ever.
Yep. And your boys are sitting out front playing for free.
Oh, man. So good. Yeah. So good. Okay. I got one more thing to say about, or one more thing that we're going to do about the event, because not everybody's interested in just hearing Ryan and Brando talk about the event instead of Ryan and Brando stuff.
Yes. Although it is important that if you're thinking about going to one of these, there's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of like paid positivity out there. So
we're neither
of those
certainly
things.
not paid.
So it's important to know, like, if you're planning on attending one of these events, the one example of it had some kinks, but I have faith that they're going to work out. And I'm the one saying that I have faith that WotC's going to fix these problems. I really do think that Philadelphia will be a... I don't want to say better.
It's hard to say better because Vegas makes it different. Because Vegas hits different.
That outside area was the best part, and you're not going to get that in Philly because it's February, and I think it's cold in Philly in February.
Yeah.
So
I remember what I was going to say.
Hit me. Not literally.
Wow. No king shaming in the nation. If this was your first event ever, and you didn't care that it was $160 or $300 because you're going because it's Vegas, would you have had a great time? Your first event, you get to see and do all the stuff that was there.
I think I would have had a better time if it was my first event. I didn't care about the thing. If I hadn't had anything else to compare it to.
Because we're coming from a place of experience.
We're coming from fucking Bellevue, which was one of the best events I've ever been to. CCO Experience aside, that was an awesome event.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun, and this was
despite being pretty small, right?
Yeah, despite being
Bellevue is
little.
Small.
But like
but
so, this would be a great first time event because there's so much lights and things and
World
stuff.
Championship was there, and the live streaming thing and Magic Arena. We didn't even touch on that because that's not what we do. But the event looked and felt like an event.
Yeah.
And I think if that's your first event ever, like a lot of the people that were with us who said that the event was awesome, and it was.
And it was awesome.
And it was awesome. We don't want to poo-poo on anything because the event was good, but because we've experienced other events and we had to come from Canada, those are our criticisms. Now, where this is where I want to leave it on a negative, but I want to leave it on a positive. Your criticism is you want more for your money or make it be less money.
Yes.
Same experience, less money, or more experience for that money.
Yes.
Where did the event exceed your expectations? Besides what we personally did, like with the free play area and stuff.
And that's why I came out initially saying, is because it didn't.
It didn't. Not even one part of it?
Not a single thing there blew my mind.
Oh, it doesn't need to blow your mind to exceed an expectation.
But it didn't. Like I knew that it was a convention going in.
Yeah.
And I've been to, I dare say I've been to more of this type of event than you have.
Yes, you have.
So I knew what I was going to get going in.
Yep.
And I knew what I was going to see. I was ready for it. I was braced. And when I went in, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it.
This is it.
This is what I expected. And I got exactly what I expected. Be it was better run. It was less packed. There's the thing I can say. It was less crowded than I was expecting.
That's a positive.
Because I didn't have to wait in line to fill up my ridiculously expensive soda cup, which are always expensive at conventions.
Yes.
And
you can't make that a criticism because everything is expensive.
It's not, because when we go to our next event in the States, I'm going to bring that cup with me, and for $7 I can fill it up all day.
There you go.
So you know what? Cool. I got a souvenir that's like a thing, which is great.
Yeah.
But I guess that's where it wasn't, I kind of expected it to be like wall to wall, like wait in line to wait in line, and I didn't have to do that. So I will always give people props when they allow me to just live my life in an event like that without having to like touch everybody.
I'll be more granular. There were more vendors than I thought they were going to be.
Sure.
And they had a diversity of vendor wares greater than I thought they were going to. You've been to events where they just have cards.
Yep.
Everybody's got the same hot buy list. Everybody's got the same standard singles.
Yep.
No, you could get like the tits here.
Yep.
I saw a BGS 10 Tabernacle.
Ooh.
Yeah, there wasn't even a price tag on it.
Oh, yeah, there was the one booth that had everything was slabbed. No prices on anything.
Nothing. Make an offer.
Yeah.
We'll take it or we'll deny it.
Yes.
Yes. So the vendors were greater and more diverse than I thought they were going to be.
Sure.
There were more artists than I thought there were going to be.
Sure.
Lots of times, especially at events that are small to medium sized, I'll call this a big event for Magic. Small to medium sized, you get the same artists that were at the last one and the last one and the last one. There was artists here that I had never even heard of. Dang. And I was like looking at all their prints. Oh man, they painted that. They painted that. Cool. There's lineups for artists always, so I didn't meet any.
Yeah, those were the lineups you had to wait in, was to meet the artists.
Yeah. Which is fine because like those people are doing their craft, and I think they deserve everything they get because they like Mark Teeden traveled like he told me one time like 43 weeks of the year to different events. Man, that guy makes bank, I think.
Yeah.
So those two things, the themed costume place, it didn't exceed my expectation because I didn't have that expectation. But when I got there and saw it, I thought, that's really cool.
That's neat, yeah.
No signage, so you couldn't really tell where to, like, is this for me? Do I need to have a VIP pack to play here and stuff?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and that's maybe a criticism where you can just be better organized and say, hey, play here if there's tables.
Yeah, there could be like a little sign.
Yeah, or a schedule, free to play, or cosplay sitting here at this time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That exceeded my expectations. They had... Sorry. They had an official like Magic 30 event booth.
Yep.
It was kind of like a prize wall. It wasn't a booth. It was a prize wall.
There was a prize wall and there was a booth. It was a booth. It just had a really long zigzag line.
Yeah, like Disneyland line. That was cool to see that they had themed exclusive merch. The laser show and the setup for the arena and world championships
was neat.
Exceeded my expectations because I knew that the world champs was happening there, but I didn't expect it to be like 100% of their full setup for like their streaming and their studio. It looked like we were watching fucking like
back when Magic used to be on ESPN 5 or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like Magic was on ESPN. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't for us,
no,
but it's fine. And the final thing I will say that exceeded my expectations was throughout the weekend, maybe midday Saturday after they got destroyed on social media Saturday morning for empty command zones, they laxed that and they allowed people to even just walk through because it was a shortcut to the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was in there on Saturday and nobody came up to me. It didn't look like judges or anybody were like checking badges and like wrenching you out by your neck by your lanyard if you didn't have the right badge.
Yeah.
And that opens the question, and I said this on Commander Ed Populum, I'm going to say it again here too, and you're going to like it. If I can be in there and didn't pay for it, and somebody who did pay for it says, well, I paid for it, you shouldn't be here, I would say to that person, you shouldn't have paid for it. We should just get this because it's not costing them anything. If we want to play in a Commander tournament, it costs money.
Yep.
And they already have the money from our badge. Why do we need to pay to play in here?
That's right.
Because your boys and CCO Nation just went outside and played at the tables for free. Now let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because the CCO experience was the best part.
I'm going to do one more thing real quick. Real small.
Don't make it a negative thing.
No, it's not negative.
Make it a positive thing.
It's an improvement thing.
Okay.
The prize wall, the official merch store, fantastic, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the coolest finds were people who went and waited in a line and bought things at the merch store.
Yeah.
But the things that they bought, I didn't know were there. So I think in the future, it would be very helpful if they had a list of the actual things and not just the shirts, so that you don't wait in line for like an hour and then not have the thing
they had those little poster boards or whatever on the sides of where the booth was. But it would have been cool to see more of that official signage to say like, hey, come this way, get this stuff.
There was some cool stuff that I would have waited in line for.
Go this way, bring money.
Money, but I think that that's just a thing going forward that would be helpful, and something that if you go to one of those events, like take your time and actually look over people's shoulders and railbird a little bit.
Yeah, I railbirded lots.
You might get a collector's edition Warhammer deck or something because they were there.
I was
fucking cost.
Oh yeah.
Not that ridiculously marked up shit. Like they were still expensive, but those decks were expensive.
At the official WotC booth, there was official WotC Magic cards that you could buy.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's neat.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until somebody bought them. So
yeah.
That's a cool thing but there's a room for improvement there as well.
I was looking for I was railbirding on all the vendors and people playing and stuff because WotC was selling like those jean jackets with patches on them and stuff.
Yep.
Cool stuff. I wanted the black or just regular denim jean jacket with the Harloon Minotaur embroidered on the back. I would have paid any amount of money. I almost bought a jean shirt for $500, but didn't.
Yeah.
But if it had Harloon Minotaur stitched on the back, there
baby,
would have been no amount of deeds in Vegas I would have done. Or wouldn't have done, I guess.
How many apologies would Rebecca require? How many times
Several.
would you have to do the dishes all by yourself? No dishwasher.
Several.
Lots of
With
times.
my ass.
Yeah, with just a sponge just glued to it.
Stapled to my ass cheek. Every scrub is worth one stitch of denim.
Worth it.
Worth it. I would have worn that thing. Oh, man, that would have been such a cool jacket. Yeah. CCO Experience.
CCO Experience.
Speaking of scrubbing dishes with your ass.
Now we're talking. Yeah.
So,
that dishwasher just probably hung itself. Hey?
That dishwasher, man. Fuck. So we got this thing that in CCO Nation we call the CCO Experience. We offer it to our Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/CCO.
You can get part of it if you show up at the free-to-play areas that we hang out at events.
Yeah. And the reason we get contacted every time we put up a CCO Experience thing saying we're going to be at an event. We offer it to the patrons first through Patreon and through Discord, and it fills up. That's why we offer it to the patrons. It is open to everybody, but it fills up.
Yeah.
So if
early access gets it.
Yeah, which kind of makes me feel like a WotC scumbag, but it's a way that we can just make sure that we're getting all of the best people that we know really want to be there. So thank you to all the people who do contact us and the patrons and the people who help and drive, cook, and pick up beer and make sure that people get home safe when they lose DDR to Spider-Man on Fremont Street. Man, you got rocked.
Oh, man.
You got rocked by Spider-Man.
I did. I maintain that middle thing shouldn't have been a button. And I was really drunk.
Get with the time, kids. Middle button on DDR. Don't you know anything?
No.
Oh, well.
No, I don't.
Jeepers creepers, the kids these days.
I know, right? They're doing stuff. Anyway.
So we get there on Friday. We get picked up. And we go directly to the convention and we start meeting peeps, right? And some peeps we know because we've met them in person in real life.
Our homies are there.
Some we don't. And they tell us their name and we're like, crickets. But then also, they tell us their CCO nickname and we're like, oh,
we get it, yeah.
Okay, cool. And I don't know, I didn't jam any games on Friday. We just perused the floor and saw the stuff and hung out and got some beer.
Yeah.
And then we hopped in Nick Rob's car and people jumped in a couple different cars and we went to the grocery store and filled up on some cold barley soup.
That's beer.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a shopping cart full of beer.
And a shopping cart also full of hot Cool Ranch Doritos, my favorite flavor.
Okay.
And some other stuff that you just need so you don't die.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, lol. No,
yeah, what?
Beer and chips. And we got to be kids for 3 days. I think that's the main thing is we get to go and we're adults so we can drink beer and I was going to say drink beer and drive around, but but the people who drove around were not drinking beer and we do have non-drinkers there and it's not about drinking booze. It's about going and having fun with your friends.
Yes.
And the people who don't drink always offer to drive. Locals offer to drive, and people who rent cars or drive offer to drive, and it's fantastic. So,
and we appreciate all of that.
We
and
do.
So does everybody else. I think. Those are the kinds of friends that you fucking need because they take care of you when you get too drunk on Fremont Street, and they have to look after you to make sure you don't get in any trouble.
That's what I was gonna say. You went to Fremont Street.
Yeah,
and did
I did.
DDR burgers, and you saw people dancing on bars.
And we danced, and my glasses got stepped on. They were flat, but I think Sync Guy managed to get them like back in shape, and they're pretty good. You can, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that they're still glasses shaped. They've been on my head all week.
Yeah,
and I didn't even know they got stepped on until he told me the next day.
Yeah,
and you
probably stepped on them on DDR, just like consistently mashing the up, down, left, right button, just ching, 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 ching. Brando's glasses look like when somebody falls down on Family Guy. Just freaking arms and legs in different directions.
But it was the Fremont Street was fantastic. The parts that I like recall of it, we went for pizza, and we went to an arcade bar, and I saw one of those mechanical bucking bulls that was just a big wiener.
Oh, yes.
Which is unbelievable. Like, and everybody, there was lots of people in costumes that were really good. There was like super tall Ninja Turtles and Batman and all these like crazy like costumes.
Because it was Halloween weekend, yeah.
Right, we were in Vegas.
I forgot
on
that.
Halloween, and it was It was amazing. It was unfucking believable.
That's
it was
cool.
Such a good time. So we did like a little bit of Vegasing, part of the CCO experience.
Yep.
If you didn't want to do that, people hung out at the house.
I stayed at the house and did the old man thing. Just stood at the counter and drank beer
and ate nachos.
Yeah, and man, we had no less fun. It was kind of like the CCO quiet room, if you will, the CCO smoking room. And we just hung out and played a game. And I don't even think we played because it was Friday night. And we just chilled.
Yeah.
And then you guys got back and you went to bed.
Oh, yeah, I was
You went
hammered,
straight
yeah.
to bed. Your legs were dangling off the bed. I'm like, Brando is going to fall over as soon as he stands up tomorrow because his legs are going to be so asleep. He doesn't even know they're asleep. And we just left you.
Yeah, well,
we just left you. We were waiting to hear in the morning our alarm clock was going to be Brando falling down the stairs.
But sometime in the night, or maybe somebody in the house like tucked me in because I was under a blanket when I woke up.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Who did that? It's not what we do.
I appreciate you.
And so that was Friday. Saturday morning, after being up till 4,
Yeah.
Saturday morning we had a meeting, and we ended up meeting a bunch of CCO Nationalites at the breakfast buffet.
Yeah.
And we gave away some stickers and stuff, and those guys met me later and checked out my altar binder, so thanks to them.
Brando's first breakfast buffet. Fantastic.
And it even came with champagne.
Champagne.
Yeah, big thanks to Candace for the champagne.
Yeah.
That's French for champagne.
Yes.
Or champagne French for champagne. That's like bologna or lasagna.
I think that second thing you said is right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So then we go back to the event. We perused is perused the right word? Perused the floor. Perused and browsed.
Yes.
Perused the floor and got some beer.
Oh, man, I'm excited for the big news of that day. There's big news of that day.
We got some beer because everybody packed beer into their magic bags. Yeah. And Logan Asshurt McGee, like, or maybe it was Jared Confarty. I don't know who it was, but they just brought like a grocery tote bag just full of beer.
Yep.
And we went up and played Magic up in the bar.
Yep.
And we drank our own beer in the bar. Yep. And I went out on the rooftop patio, played a game out there, ended up winning the game. That was the only game I got moved from. Hey, you got to move. We got an event booked here, but you don't got to move now. But in a couple minutes when we get like the tablecloths and stuff.
Fair.
So they were nice,
Yep.
and they weren't like, hey, you shouldn't be here. It was just, hey, you got to move in a couple minutes, and then. Them fucks. You know what it was? It was a Josh and Jimmy autograph signing. So I messaged him on Twitter. I was like, my only motherfucking game I got moved from all weekend was your fault. Yeah, he laughed or whatever. He laughed. And I ended up winning that game. Mech Titan Core does a hell of a job.
I don't know if I won a game that weekend. I don't think I did.
You didn't win a game?
I don't think I did.
Wow.
Maybe I did.
I won at least 3.
Oh, no, I did. I slivered people one time.
Oh,
I
you got to
them.
pull out the big guns. Hey,
Yeah.
this deck it's
built
not even as good as a precon.
I built it in the plane on the way over here. It's just Tyranids but magic.
Yeah, just kidding. Get your keeks jeeked.
Yeah, whoops. Ooh.
So, played all day.
Ooh, I met Lady Danger up there too.
Oh,
Shout
yeah?
out to her. She was really cool. She took a picture with me.
Neat.
Yep, she's one of my content creators that I really like.
Cool.
We're going to talk about another
Did you
one of those later
fanboy
on.
on her?
I did a little bit.
That's okay.
I hate doing that. I hate doing that kind of stuff because like
No, don't. You're at a magic convention. What are you supposed to do?
yeah, but it was cool. I was like really excited that I got to do that and take a picture with her. So that was cool.
Did I fanboy on anybody this time?
I found one like 2 people. We're going to talk about the other one like later on Saturday.
I hung out with DJ.
I didn't even see DJ.
I hung out with DJ a little bit.
I played 3 games with a guy that I thought was DJ.
Oh my god!
Because they look
such a shit.
He looked just like him. And he had a mask on. So like, well, is this DJ? And they kind of have the same voice and shit. And I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not sure.
But he's being really nice, which is the important thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like this is DJ. It has to be. It has to be.
No, it was me and DJ were walking the
wasn't.
floor
Then it
and just
wasn't.
chatting.
Yep, it wasn't.
So DJ and we played all day up in the bar, and then we came down and played like at the thing a little bit.
Yep.
On Saturday. We left the bar.
Let's get to the fucking biggest news of Saturday though.
Just hold on. This is cool.
Okay.
I left the bar,
Okay.
and me and a guy named Brandon,
Lol.
we had our like Rule 0 conversation on the elevator on the way down. The elevator that I had a beer explode in. And we just sat down and we started playing, and I was like, I'm going to play this. I feel like we've talked about our games and our decks the whole time. He's like, cool. And we played. It's perfect. And that's a good example. This is the reason I wanted to say this. It was a good example of Rule 0 just being part of conversation and dudes just, or people just chilling and getting to know each other. Because then we sat down and we kind of felt like we had a connection a little bit because we'd talked for 10 or so minutes. And then we just played Magic. And there was no like, here's my deck list. That's a 7. No, that card's not allowed. It was so easy. And I don't want anybody to ever be intimidated by talking about games or pre-gaming, because you can just talk to somebody and get to know them a little bit. And he was like, yeah, I feel like you guys would like this deck. And we were like, cool. And he played it. And it ended up being 5-color Ur-Dragon, Dragon's Approach. And I was like, you are in the right place, sir. Yeah. So the big news on Saturday.
Amy, our very own Pasty Amy.
Yeah.
Our very own Pasty Amy entered the cosplay contest.
Yeah.
And I know this is a fact because I was there.
Yeah. Can confirm.
Won her, what was it? Her
You made that
bracket.
way
Won her
less.
bracket. Won her fucking bracket. Won $1,000. Giant novelty check. Dressing as the infernal spawn of Eternal Evil.
Infernal Spawn of Evil.
Evil, right.
Infernal Spawn of Evil is a card from Unglued.
It's like a
and
chipmunk
it's
with a
kind of a famous art.
Yeah.
It's kind of famous. It's done by Ron Spencer. Joe will have it on the screen. And you watch the CCO Experience video, you're going to see Amy's cosplay. You're going to see me like holding up the giant check or whatever. And I was like mega pumped because I was finishing up games and I didn't know the cosplay contest was going on. And I came down and through like the glass wall of the side of the convention, because it had a glass wall, I saw Amy standing there like with a bunch of other nationalites holding a giant check. And immediately I knew what it was.
What's I told you? I told you that she won.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And I saw the giant check and I was like, bing, that's a giant check. And I like almost ran into the door, also made of glass. And it was like organically just the moment of most excitement out of my whole weekend. Like sure, opening up $350 booster packs and cube open flippy with Alan. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I've done all that kind of stuff before. Yeah. Never have I ever had one of my good friends win a giant novelty check for her first cosplay ever.
Yeah, first time doing it at the biggest event with like pros. It was so good.
On her first cosplay ever, when she's dressing as something that I didn't think anybody would get. Like, Unglued came out in 98, man.
Yeah.
Or 99.
Yep.
And it was like one of the first sets that had gold and silver and black set symbols. Like, that's how old it is.
Yeah.
And I know what it is because I ripped Infernal Spawn of Evil from a booster pack.
Yeah.
And I get it. And Ron Spencer, my favorite artist. But I didn't think kids these days, all them Zumas,
all them Zumas,
would get what Infernal Spawn of Evil was. And she had like the hot cup of cocoa and the rat tail and her mana cost.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, faith in humanity restored, that the kids these days got it.
And they liked it.
Yeah. That was fucking fantastic.
I was so excited for it. I was going to video it, but then I forgot because I was like,
well,
I was so excited.
Because Vegas.
Yeah, right? Like I was sitting there with Keel and I was like, oh, fuck, she won! It was so exciting. So that was really cool for her. That was my favorite part of maybe the whole trip, honestly, was to see one of my friends like fucking win.
Own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a person I know fucking winning.
Yeah.
I like when people win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would be nice.
People work hard and win.
Would be nice to get some recognition for hard work every once in a while in an official WotC capacity. Oh, that was way funnier than I thought it was going to be. Oh, man. So that was Saturday. We went back to the place, and Alan, meant to misplay Alan, was like, messaging me on Twitter, because I sent him the address. Yeah. And I didn't get any of those texts because it was upstairs charging. Yes. And all of a sudden, who walks in the door? Just walks in. Fucking Alan. And everybody's like, what? He's got his cube with him, and we're open flippying. And then he's like, let's open flippy the cube. And he's got those little plastic cube packs that we can open. And they were pre-packaged, so we didn't have to do any of that mixing shit that we got to do when we use Joel's cube.
Yeah.
Fucking Joel. And we just jammed it. And he was there till late, hey?
Oh, yeah.
And he's got some videos of you and me like ragging on each other hard, and it's funny. It's funny. I'm just giving you the gears right in your face, like, oh no, this and that. Oh yeah, it's funny.
It was super fun. Alan, the other guy that I fanboy out for, because I freaking love that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's excellent. One of the nicest dudes I've ever met, period. And he also happens to be a very successful Magic the Gathering personality, and he deserves all the support that he gets. It's a great
Very
guy.
much so. Yeah, me and Alan had a couple really good conversations just about community building and making sure that people are included. And even though we're critical, even though we swear and drink beer sometimes it's important to set a good example and be good leaders for communities.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very important message that
You've never flipped a car or set a building on fire?
No, but I have. Maybe not. Cannot confirm whether I peed in one.
That never happened, probably.
Yeah, no. So that was Saturday.
That was Saturday.
We woke up again on 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
on
how
Sunday.
do we like 5 hours of sleep?
Dude,
For the whole weekend.
5. Lol. Yeah, I because this is what I do. This is how big of a weeb I am. I count my hours of sleep in Vegas. 3 nights did not hit double digits. I was at 9 hours in 3 days.
Wow. Yeah.
And just caffeine and alcohol.
Yeah.
Like my heart is like, it doesn't even know its dink from its asshole anymore.
Yeah. I had
My voice, just nothing works.
I had 3 meals the whole time I was there.
Now, one of the meals, we were lucky enough that one of our meals was professionally catered. This is another thing in the CCO experience that you don't just get unless you want to pay like $90. But your good friend Ryan and CCO Podcast paid $90, $98, and we fed 19 people professionally catered tacos and burritos.
So good.
And on the CCO Experience video, I've got a video of the whole buffet line of all the different ingredients, including 4 different kinds of pickled ingredients. Onions, pickles, pickled peppers, pickled jalapenos. I know they're a pepper too, but
Yes.
meat, Spanish rice, all the veggies Brando's body could handle, which is 0.
Yep. Then there was beef and beans. Those beans were so good.
Yeah. And all the while, Jared was cooking at the stove. He's like, I was like, do you need anything? Is there anything you're missing? He's like, no, but I could get a drink. And him and Drake split a bottle of like whiskey or whatever. And I was like, Drake, next man up. Drake mixes him a drink. Is there any ice? There's no ice. Just like directing traffic to try and get Jared a drink or whatever. Oh man,
That was fantastic. So big thanks to Aiden and
Jared
and
John.
That's the guy.
John cooked. And I got some videos of them like chopping shit up, looking like fucking Gordon Ramsay and shit.
Oh hell yeah! It was
Yeah.
and it was so fucking good. It was so good. We already talked about like us playing at the event for free all day out in the sun, which was probably one of the best Magic experiences I've ever had. Just like out in the sunshine in November, almost right,
Yeah,
like with
yeah.
all these people and a bunch of national lights and randoms, and it was super cool. There was some other content creators that kind of wandered in.
Yeah,
out there.
cosplayers.
Yeah, and they
Yep.
just set up shop with us.
I saw a cosplayer open up a Magic 30th anniversary booster pack. That video will be in the CCO experience because it was an experience because he didn't even know he didn't get the gravitas of the card that he opened. He didn't know about it, and then he's like, I don't even play blue. Hint, hint. I don't even play blue, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah. So
That's the one you can even. Yeah.
and
but it was good.
the Sunday night we had a patio experience too.
Yep.
We gave out little tiny miniature CCO onion bags.
Yep.
And this was if the Amy thing was like my most genuine experience, this was the funniest experience for me. We gave out these little CCO onion bags with little CCO onion dice in them. And Mac had half of an onion that he stole from the kitchen so he could take his little onion bag and rub an onion on it to make it stinky. And he was rubbing it and rubbing it and rubbing it. And then another guy takes it and he smells it and he goes, that's really nice. I laughed so hard at it. Just the timing, just coincidentally, everybody goes quiet. That's really nice. And he kind of sounded like Matthew McConaughey. and me and Amy laughed so hard that Aaron laughed at how hard we were laughing, so hard that he had to spit his food out. That's how hard we were laughing. And it was just like a genuine moment of friends that something funny happened to, that we all just freaking laughed at how hard each other were laughing. We were just laughing at each other because we were just being a bunch of dummies.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
Bunch of idiots in a house eating tacos, rubbing onions on stuff.
Yeah,
It is
welcome
fun.
to the nation.
Yeah, right?
I'm going to rub my onion on you. Oh, don't Google that.
No.
So, I don't know. Can you sum up the weekend? We didn't even touch on MTG Bro. I got one bro story.
MTG Bro can suck it. Let's talk about MTG Bros, meaning us.
I got one bro story. I'm watching Game Nights Live or a panel or whatever, and there's a bro card, and I'm like, oh my God, I could be the guy that breaks the bro news. I could take a picture, post on Facebook right now. I have Facebook open. I could have done that. I could have been the guy with the breaking news. Didn't, though.
Good.
MTG CCO, bro.
We played Brando versus Ryan all weekend to see who does the most sweet shit. And I promised Ryan that I wouldn't brag about my team winning, but they did. I'm very proud of them.
It was 2-1.
Came through clutch. It was like 14-1 because Ryan wasn't there when we were making up the rules.
Oh.
And since I like to cheat, I obviously made rules for myself.
We had little Ryan and Brando pins that you could put on your shirt or hat.
And I thought that was really fun too. There's a nice little, not just because my team won, but because like I thought it was really fun and it did add something to the experience. We played 3-on-1 open flippy.
Yeah, we wanted to bring everybody together for a good time and then totally divide them.
Yes.
Yeah, and we did.
And we did, and we all had a great time. And I think that is the takeaways. All the expenses aside, all of the bad PR aside, $1,000 packs of cards you can't play with aside, none of that matters because at the end of the day, at the end of those 3 days, we had a great time.
Yep.
And I didn't see anybody who was in the hall being fucking miserable.
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody that was there, sure, maybe you paid too much. Maybe you didn't get what you were expecting for your money. But you know what? You went there and you still had fun. And that's what counts. That's what we showed up for. That's what we flew in for.
I got you.
And we did it.
I got you. We met up with all our friends and had a great time for 3 days. And it was a fantastic, lifelong memory experience.
Yep.
And some magic or some shit happened.
Exactly.
There was somebody played a game of Magic or something.
There was an event there too. And I think that's the biggest takeaway you can get from events like this is just sometimes the event is all the fun and sometimes you make your own fun. And if you're in CCO Nation, we do both. And we are going to take it back to that on the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!